Grand risings, beautiful kings and queens. How are you doing today? I hope you're all doing amazing. I sure am, and I know Queen Jennie is too. And we're so happy today to be coming on live and sharing about our incredible 100-day juicing extravaganza that we have just embarked on. We are on day 3, and we thought it would be so amazing to come on and share a little bit about why we're doing another extended juice cleanse. We're going to be talking about some of the stuff that was coming up for us, some of our health issues, and also how we've been feeling on the juice cleanse. So Queen Jennie, for those who don't know yet, she has been on an incredible healing journey. She has been juicing. She juiced for 266 days just a few months ago, and she lost over 130 pounds. All of her health symptoms started improving, and she's just been activating herself and coming into her purpose, into her mission work of, helping others and sharing this lifestyle with others. She had been vegan for many years before that, but, was still struggling with some food addictions, and she was really striving to be more raw. And so we're going to talk about her journey a little bit, and also, food addictions, the reality of it, and our emotional well-being, and how we could better take care of ourselves. So all of it, we're flowing today. So happy to be here with you. I was just with her last week, and it was such a blessing. I love sharing space with my beautiful queen. She made amazing juices for me, amazing living foods, and it was such a pleasure to be with her and her family. And just so happy to be here, Bestie. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing with our communities about your journey. And yeah, how's it been going for you on day 3 of juicing?
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. And juicing is going wonderfully. And let me give Aline an introduction then. Aline is just a beautiful soul who has been on the path of up leveling and personal development. And she's overcome addiction, both food addiction and different addictions, and is a bright light for so many in our communities and just in the raw food world. Um, so it is just so lovely to have Aline. In fact, Aline really helped me and inspired me on my first extended juice cleanse. As many of you know, like Aline was a coach for me. She was there for me, always lifting me up and supporting me. And so it's really beautiful to be able to reciprocate that energy and just, hold each other up now through fast like this. And so far I'm doing really, really well. Day 3, I feel very, very strong. I feel like it's so important to have support. And because we're supporting each other, I just feel really solid, really committed, and really just totally happy that I'm juicing. I was just telling Aline, I've been receiving a lot of signs, that I'm on the right path. For instance, like I was looking for my old chart from my extended juice cleanse. Many of you might remember this. Couldn't find it anywhere since I moved, haven't seen it since last year. And then lo and behold, I look over one day and my children are playing with it. They found it.
Wow.
Uh, and then my first day of the juice cleanse, I was like, it would be so beautiful to like have my crystals that I wore in my first juice cleanse, and I couldn't find them anywhere. I haven't been able to find them since the move either. So I hadn't seen them since last year. I dug around, I looked everywhere for them, couldn't find them, and, was a little disappointed. And I just spoke out to God and the universe again and said, it would be such a blessing if I could find my crystals. Like when Aline was in town, I actually went to the store where I got them, picked up another one because I missed it so much, got to the register and something told me, no, don't get it. And I put it back. But I asked the universe, one more time, like, God, it would really be so wonderful to have like my crystals and feel that protection. And so I went in the closet and was guided to like a small box in the very back of the closet, and my crystal necklaces were like tangled and in the bottom of that box. I actually have my favorite amethyst on today.
Aw, I love
And
it.
so, yeah, so I've been receiving signs. I've had some detox symptoms. I had a bad headache yesterday, and today my tongue was like really white. But to say why we came to this point, Aline and I, well, I'll speak for myself and then let Aline say why she moved into this, but struggling just the last several months, experiencing loss of friends, of family, several in a row, as well as like in December last year, when I got the C, for the second time, I started experiencing a lot of old symptoms coming back up and a lot of problems again, that have seemingly increased. Also, I started eating a little bit of cooked food and I felt that food addiction coming back. Like once I opened the door, it was like the salty and the fatty and the sweetie foods started making their way back in. And the more they did, the more I found my old symptoms returning. I started having pain in my elbows again. I started having some flakes on my scalp again. I started feeling really stiffness in my joints and some water retention, and just not feeling my best. And it's really easy to slip into those old patterns when we're struggling. And that's what happened to me. I was kind of slipping back into some old patterns, being depressed, just with like losing friends and things, and just taking it hard and grieving and just feeling a bit overwhelmed. So if you're ever feeling like that, if you're listening and you're ever feeling that way, just know that you're not alone. And reach out in the community. We have Kings and Queens of Raw. I have a weekend juicers
Yes.
group, and Aline and I are here, giving our love and our coaching and our energy as best we can, because of course we have our own families and our children to take care of, but we try to give as much as we're able. So please know that you're not alone if you are struggling. And that's what happened. Aline and I came together, we started talking, we our energies met in person, and we were both like, gosh, we're struggling, gosh, and we do really good together with our energy. But then when we're apart and by ourselves again, and my husband's having to work a lot, and Aline's a single mom, it can get difficult. But when we talked and connected, our energy came together, and I said, oh my gosh, like we've both been wanting to do a juice cleanse and we're having so much resistance. Let's lean on each other. Let's coach each other through.
Yeah.
Let's talk to people about it. So if they're struggling, they can join us. And, let's just bring our light together and lift each other up. We know that God brought us together for a reason. And so here we are, holding each other up. Aline immediately was like, yes, let's do it, which I expected her to resist, to be honest, but she didn't. She was immediately like, yes, yes. And so both of us just, answered the call, and here we are. And day 3, I'm feeling great. I've been working out every day. I've been juicing. I am doing a couple things different this juice cleanse. I am incorporating some supplemental superfoods like a hair, skin, and nail, and um, a dark berry drink once a day, in place of one juice or in one juice. And I'm exercising, which I did not do the last time. So I've been exercising every day. I got a free trial on an app, so I could have a trainer for 30 days or
Wow.
14 days or whatever it is. I can share the link and give y'all a
Yes.
14-day trial too for it.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, so things have been going great. So how about you? I would love to hear how you're feeling, and if you want to let everybody know what kind of pulled you in this direction as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, everything you're saying is like, oh, going straight into my heart, because we're so aligned, we're so aligned in our journeys, overcoming addictions, spiritually, like we're very much like, in sync, and we have been for a
Green.
long time. Yes, green even. She wore green and I wore green. We didn't even talk about it. It was just natural. I just grabbed the green and I was like, this is what I'm wearing. So definitely, I'm so grateful for you. And, just as how you say that I supported you, like you have been supporting me so much on my journey. And, it's just like, you never know who you're going to help, just by like writing a comment or a message or just giving somebody, you know, your energy in that way. Jenny was like, you've helped me so much. And I was like, really, did I? Like, I didn't even realize how much, but apparently I did. And just the same way, like you are helping me so much on my journey. And I'm just so grateful to be doing this with you. It really does help to have an accountability partner, somebody who is like going through it too. And I just love that the timing too, there's divine timing in everything. There's wherever you are, you're perfect exactly where you are. Like when I was finding myself binging on that cooked food, a few weeks ago, like, I'll be real, like just before my juice cleanse, I was eating Chinese food. Like I was there and I was eating Indian food the day before. And I had to fallen back into some cooked food addiction because it is an addiction, after being raw for almost 3 years of like a little bit over 2.5 years of like only raw foods. The minute I started eating cooked foods, I really like it was really hard for me to come back to the raw, to come back to, being 100% living foods, which is where I feel my best. I'm not here to demonize cooked foods, but for me and for Queen Jennie, who are food addicts, we are addicted to food, then it's very difficult to manage that realm, that world. It's just like it could snowball into so much more. So for me, I know I do so much better on a fruit-based diet, meaning mostly fruitarian with a little bit of green. So that's really my goal. And I really was struggling to stay on that as I was eating some cooked foods. And me too, I was feeling some depression coming on. I was even like having some suicidal thoughts come back when I was all by myself in Montreal, kind of isolated. I don't have that many friends there, going through the losses, one of my best friends is in the hospital as well. Like that's a lot to carry, it's very difficult to have that uncertainty of like somebody you love so much, whether they're gonna make it or not. And we had some very tragic news in our communities as well. And so it's been really difficult to manage those emotions, and yeah, my self-care practice wasn't on top of the world. I wasn't exercising. And it's just like, this like downhill kind of, and then I woke up and I was just like, how did I get here again? Like, how am I here again? And I get scared because that's when I tend to want to go towards the drug. That's when I tend to want to go numb and drink and smoke and do all those things. So I really had to catch myself. And that's when I got on the fruit cleanse with you. And I did a mono fruit cleanse with Queen Jennie and Queen Alice, fasting with Alice. And that felt so good. I was like, liberation, I'm on a mono fruit feast. And I was literally like, this is how I want to eat for the rest of my life. This is what I need to do. And it's just like mono fruit, simple eating, one fruit at a time. And I really felt great. Then I fell back, for a few days, and then the watermelon cleanse. So I've just been like cleansing, cleansing. It's not even refeeding, it's like literally full on addictions, so it's like finding that balance. And that's all part of the journey too. I think at some point I'm not going to continue to do that, because those foods don't really serve me. They serve me in the temporary, but they don't serve me long term. And that's what I'm coming to realize. Just like how long it took me to stop drinking. It took me a long time to realize that those hangovers were killing me, just to realize that alcohol, like how many times have we said, like, I'm never drinking again. Oh my God, I am never drinking again. But then like you find yourself, whatever, the next weekend or the next couple of days, like drinking again. So it's that cycle. And then at some point we got to remember before the fact, now I look at alcohol and I'm like, oh my God, like I know what's going to happen, and I could hold myself back. And it's the same thing with food. At some point we come to look at that food and we see that it's drugs. We see that it's like alcohol. We see that it's going to lead us down a spiral, a vortex. That's what it's, a vortex that sucks me in. And I need to be very mindful of that. So like I've been wanting to get back on an extended juice cleanse. I've been doing an extended juice cleanse pretty much every year for the last 4 years. So I did my 113 days. And then 6 months later, I released so much mucoid plaque, so much parasites. And then 6 months later, I felt called. Like you said, it's a calling. You just know it intuitively. I did another 66 days. And then another year after that, I did 96 days. So it's been a year. Hi, baby. Hi, Jenna. Hi. So cute. So yeah, it's just a calling, and we know it, we trust ourselves, and it takes many, many years to detoxify our tempo. Like, we have been putting so much crap in our body for so many years. Like, healing does not happen overnight. It does not happen with a 40-day juice cleanse. It does not happen with a one mono fruit feast. Like, those are levels, those are stages of detoxification, and it takes many years. Professor Arnold Era talks about 5 years. You know, Professor Spira talks more about 5 to 10 years of detoxifying the body with these cleanses. So it's a journey, you know, and I'm here for it. You know, I am so scared of going back to that dark place, you know, of depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, not being able to take care of my daughter, not wanting to get out of bed, feeling joint pains too. I was feeling pains like in my body that I wasn't even feeling before. Like, I'm 40 years old. Like, it's starting to, like, if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm gonna start feeling those effects, you know? So definitely, like, for me, my mental health comes first. And since doing this juice cleanse, I feel like a liberation, you know. I really felt like, I was telling Jennie, like, I feel like I have shackled. I feel like I am caught in this addiction. And I'm like, I got shackled on my wrist. And this is like liberation. I don't have to think about what I'm eating. I am feeling so much better. Inflammation has come down. My mind is clearer. Like, that's the power of living foods and juices. You know, when we're fully hydrated, we're not putting in any salt in the body, we're not putting in any kind of processed foods. Then, well, not that I was eating processed foods, but I was eating like cooked restaurant veggies. And just to mention too, like, when I go back to the food, like, it's always plant-based. I never go back to like the dairy or the animals or anything like that. But it's still like restaurant veggies will have like all the seasonings, the oils, that kind of stuff. So it's still not that great for me. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. And with your support, like, I felt really easy this time, you know. I'm not saying juicing is easy, but it felt easier to embark on it, because for me, it's the first 2 days that are the hardest. The first 2 days are crucial. And if we could get through that, I feel we could go for like 100 days. You know, it's quite, you just have to like liberate yourself from that chewing part, you know, just like learn to eat and fuel yourself in a different way. And because we've done it before, because the time was right, like, it just feels so, so good. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this, for bringing this up, and for inviting me in to cleanse with you. This totally feels so, so good and so aligned and natural. And yeah, and I love supporting others as well. Like you said, you know, we both offer private coaching, and it just makes me want to help that much more. When I'm on my highest frequency, I'm more present for those around me. I'm more present for our community. I'm more open and receiving and like manifesting miracles in my life. Like, this is more than just a physical thing. It's a spiritual journey. You know, I feel more connected to God, to my angels, to my spirit guides. I meditate more easily. I exercise more easily. Like, everything just starts to fall into place.
Flow.
And yeah.
Yes, we start to find a flow. And something you mentioned that I think is really, really important. So many of us, you know, so much of this is about changing habits, you know, deeply ingrained habits. And I like to think about it this way. Envision that you walk down a path over and over and over again. Now, that path, you know it like the back of your hand. It's easy. You can walk down with your eyes closed. You've walked and it's beaten, so it's easy to walk down. There are no obstacles in your way. That's how it is with like eating cooked food and junk food and all the things that we're used to doing that comfort us, right? It's very comforting to walk down that path because we've done it so many times. It's easy, you know? But when we start to form a new path, at first, that new path is difficult. It's overgrown. We need to remove the brush. We might find obstacles in our way. We may have to leave and come back with some tools so that we can move forward to be able to chop through that brush and move it out of the way. We don't know the way like we do on the other path. It's more difficult to walk. We can't do it with our eyes closed. We have to do it with our eyes open. So intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really learning that new path and walking it over and over and over and over again. And the more we do that, the easier that path becomes to walk. And that other path
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, it's healthy foods, it's healthy activities, different healing modalities, you know. And sometimes when it's difficult to walk that path, we might find ourselves taking that first path instead because it's easier, especially during tough times. So don't ever beat yourself up for finding yourself going back to that path, because it's okay. It's normal. Like you said, it takes time. It takes years to be able to really instill these new habits, and basically like reprogram
Yes.
ourselves with things that we've
Yes.
done for so long. So you mentioned how you were struggling, and then you did the mono cleanse with me, which I did as well, and it helped both of us. And then both of us found ourselves again depressed, having experienced loss, losing a very dear friend, um, and then we found ourselves kind of back on the first path again. And then we started doing the watermelon washout, and we did that for a while and we're feeling great. And then we found ourselves back on the first path again. But something really important to recognize is when you find yourself on the first path again, is that even though you found yourself on the first path, you're not the same person that you were before, and you won't stay there that long. Right. So think about this. You were mentioning how you found yourself back eating again. But I wanted to mention, just like you said, in the past, that was times when, for comfort, you may have sought out drugs. You may have sought out more dangerous things, but instead you sought out food. So it's important to look at that and look at the progress that we're making always. Like, we're always moving forward as long as our trajectory is upward and we're continually trying to do better for ourselves. It's okay if we take a couple steps back. The most important thing is to forgive ourselves, to love ourselves anyway, to recognize, accept, and surrender to our perfect imperfection. And just realize that we need more care in that moment. It's like I say about the plants. When you see a plant suffering, you don't say, "What's wrong with that plant?" You say, "What's wrong with that plant's environment? What can we adjust around the plant to make it feel better? Does it need more light? Does it need more water? Does it need more nutrient-rich soil?" We are essentially just a complicated plant. What do we need in our environment? And in our instance, we needed love and support, so that we could adjust our nutrients and the other things that we were intaking and consuming. So I just wanted to mention that, because a lot of people get stuck in those, what feels like a cycle, of doing really well and then falling back, and then doing really well and falling back. But are you doing really well, falling back, doing really well, falling back? You're still
Exactly.
going upward, and it's
Exactly.
important to remember that, to recognize that, and to give yourself grace and love and compassion where you are. So I just wanted to mention that, because I thought that was such a beautiful like point that you made. You dropped so many beautiful gems in there, but that one really struck me, because I feel like a lot of us find ourselves doing that and then considering that a failure, when there's no such thing as failure. No such thing. If you took the easy path, you may never encounter anything you considered a failure, but you may also never progress to where you want to be.
Right.
Lessons are difficult. There are challenges. You always would tell me,
Mhm.
the breakthrough after the breakdown when I was on my first cleanse, and that really stuck with me. Um, if we don't give up in those moments, then it's never a failure. There just is no such thing. So
I love that you say that,
so
because our
excited.
level of consciousness keeps elevating. That's the difference, is that even if we do fall back, it's like we've changed already, our level of consciousness, and we're more able to observe ourselves
Yeah.
as, we could see ourselves from a distance. I remember relapsing on drugs after a year of not using, and being like able to see myself, and it wasn't so automatic or unconscious. It was still a conscious decision, and I was able to observe myself. And same with the food, like the level of consciousness that we've reached keeps getting higher and higher. So there is no failure. There's almost not even a destination. You know what I mean? Like, we may have some goals in mind, but really it's all about the journey. And I love what they say too in yoga. What you're saying reminds me of this. It's like, yoga isn't just what happens on the mat. It's your whole life. It's like how you conduct your life off the mat. Are you kind, meaning kind to others and kind to yourself? Are you like being present, with yourself and with others? Like all these things help a lot, and bringing more awareness, bringing more consciousness to our everyday really helps. I think just bringing more awareness to what it is that we're doing. And this is something that I tell my clients too, is like, just bring more awareness. Like if you want to eat a bag of chips, eat the bag of chips, but like, can you be aware as you eat the bag of chips? Are you conscious when you're purchasing it? Like make it a conscious decision and be fully present with it. And that in itself is going to help you to conquer it and to, transcend from it with that level of awareness. But if you keep it's almost like if you pretend like it's not happening, you know what I mean? Like you pretend like it's not happening and you don't care, then you're going to continue to repeat that pattern. But even, when I was smoking cannabis and I was like coming off of it, I was doing that. I was consciously smoking my cannabis and being like, this is where I'm at. And I'm consciously choosing this. And that actually helped me to come off of it. It actually helped me because that acceptance, I accepted it. I embraced it, knowing that I wanted to come off of it. But I had to first love myself with it. Love myself with the cooked food, love myself in my binges, love myself through it all. And that love is what carried me to this juice cleanse. That love, that ultimate like radical self-acceptance of like, this is where I'm at, and talking to you about it and being so raw and so open about it, being like, I am not doing good. I am back in my eating disorders. I am back, like in the mental obsession, and I need help. Asking for help is everything. So yeah, like I said, you started an amazing group. That's a great community for those who want to connect. Weekend Juice Fasters, and we have the Kings and Queens community as well. And so reach out for support. We're here for you. Don't do this alone. Like, use our communities, share pictures, share that you're struggling. That's how I got through it. That's how Jennie got through it. Really, really the support of a community. I cannot, emphasize enough how much it helps. When we're feeling alone, we're tribal people. We're meant to be living in tribes. We're meant to be living with others and getting support from others. Oh, definitely that helps so much. And you can do hard things like, and if you haven't, you don't necessarily have to start off with an extended juice cleanse too. Jennie started with a few, and I did too, like a few short juice cleanses before we got into the 100 days plus. Like we did 5 days, 7 days, 3 days, just try it out, and get ready to have a mind of a warrior and face through those detox challenges and face through your own limiting beliefs, of like, I can't do it. Oh, I'm going to fail. Like, if you believe you can't do it, then you're not going to do it. But if you believe you can, then you will. It's really about like believing in yourself and believing that you can get through those difficult times. And things like grounding, I'll mention a few, and then you can mention some things too that have helped us, like definitely grounding in the earth, like walking outside bare feet, getting sunlight on the skin, sweating those toxins out, especially the salt. Like getting some good sweat every day is really, really helpful. Then your body's going to need less sodium, so you could thrive off, more fruit juices more easily and veggie juices. Drinking enough juice is like number one. Like you got to drink a lot of juice. You got to drink like 4 to 6 to 8 quarts, depending on where you're at on your journey of juice. Mostly fruit juices, because that has the highest nutrients, calorie, like a green juice is great for grounding, mineralizing, all of that. I prefer it in the evening if I'm going to have green juice, but sometimes I don't. But the fruit juices is really where you're going to get all of your nutrition from, and that feeling of satiety. Oh my God, can't say it in English. How do you say it?
That's right.
Satiation. Okay, that feeling full. Yeah.
Fruit really does help to hold you. All the things Aline said, plus, movement is very helpful. Journaling is very helpful. And also trying to remain in the present is essential, remaining in this moment and paying attention and doing things very intentionally in the moment you're in is really, really important. but yeah, rebounding, and also just really, really bringing in the self-care. This is especially important with emotional eating. And I always give this as my biggest tip for emotional eaters. Make a list of all the things you love to do that bring you joy, that uplift you, in small to large. So you have something for every situation. And when you're feeling a craving come on, when you're feeling stressed out, when you're feeling fatigued, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling like you need some fulfillment, go to that list and pick something that actually brings you joy instead of turning to the food that gives us a false sense of comfort. That's fleeting. And when it leaves us, we want more. And that's why we want more and more and more
Yeah.
food. So I have my long list that I go to. I dance around the kitchen with music turned on. Aline has witnessed that when the 80s music comes on and we dance all around the house, having a cup of tea, or playing with my kids, or coloring an adult coloring book, painting, creating. There are so many different things. Grounding, going in the sunlight, going for a walk in nature. That is one of the best ones when you are feeling overwhelmed. Go out and just feel the earth's love. The earth has so much love to give us, and that is one of the most helpful things. And when you're going through those cravings and those moments of stress and those triggered moments, it's so very important to just recognize that and take care of ourselves, and also remember that is very short-lived. If you can make it like 10 minutes, you're good. So like call a friend, do one of these self-care practices that's going to take you 10 or 15 minutes, and it's going to help to get your mind off of it. Also setting small goals, something Aline said is like so important. The reason why I made the weekend juicing group is because so many people want to juice, or they want to do an extended juice, and they struggle with it. But think about this, like if you're interested, the weekend is a lot of people's trouble spot. So I started this because there's 52 weeks in the year, and 2 days out of each of those weeks is a weekend. If you juice every weekend, you will have solidified a very great habit for yourself, some discipline when it comes to juicing and bringing in these healthy habits. But also, you will have juiced 104 days out of the year. That is an extended juice cleanse. Look how many days and how much healing you can accomplish just by setting short, small goals as well. You don't have to do some kind of huge thing. So if you're interested in that, I highly recommend, giving that a try. And that's kind of what eased me into this juice cleanse. I have been juicing on the weekends because that's my problem area. When my husband's off work and we're out and about and we're taking the kids and doing all the things, and I'm not prepared and I haven't brought things for myself. That was where I was struggling. So, there's also so much to be said for the shorter cleanses, and that is what brought us to our longer cleanses. So I highly recommend that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my tips for today and
Yay.
where I'm at.
And get some inspiration too. Like we both started our juicing journey with that movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead with Joe Cross,
Yes.
which you did an interview with. So for those who want to check out Jennie and Juice on YouTube. She has amazing interviews, and that video there with Joe Cross was so inspiring because he's the reason why we both started juicing. He was juicing. He went around America and was interviewing people. It's a great documentary, and he lost so much weight. And so that really, really inspired us. There's also Super Juice Me on Netflix or YouTube. I can't remember, but Super Juice Me. It's another documentary with juicers. See the people's transformations as well. Like you're hearing it here, but you can also hear it from other people. And the more we hear it from different people who are struggling with different things, the more inspired we get. There's like that light bulb that goes off. Sometimes we need to hear it from 100 different people to have that switch turned on. And for sure it was that for me. That's going to meetings and hearing people get sober, that's how I saw that it was possible. And I had to hear it from different voices before I finally got sober. It took a long time, but just keep doing it, keep exposing yourself. Listen to John Rose is incredible. Dan McDonnell is really great for juicing. Professor Spira is does a lot of juice cleansing. Listen to a lot of these incredible souls. Fully Raw Christina is another one. Like so many incredible people that promote juice cleansing out there that are seeing benefits in their life. And you see the radiance, you see the, you know, even we looked at each other today and we're like, oh my God, your energy is so high. Like I could feel you, I could feel you're glowing, I could see it. So we definitely get activated with the juices, and it's a life-changing thing. And I also wanted to mention enemas and colonics because they're really, really powerful during a juice cleanse. Abdominal massages as well. We want to help to eliminate as much as possible, so help the body. And if you're having some detox symptoms, you know, like you mentioned, rebounding is really good, sweating, and also getting enemas. You could do them at home or colonics at a place, at a center that does that. So yes, we love you so much. Thank you so much, Queen Jennie, for joining me today and for supporting our community. And if anybody would like to learn more, reach out to Jennie, reach out to myself, and we'd be super happy to support you with some private coaching. It's worth it. Invest in yourself. You know, we're both here because we've invested in ourselves. We've invested in courses and training and mentors, and therapists. Like we are doing the work, not just on a physical level, but on an emotional level. And I think that's so important. And it's a true testament of, you know, why we are where we are. And we continue to evolve because we're doing the emotional work, the shadow work, the overcoming childhood trauma work. Like invest in yourself. And if you cannot invest in, you know, like coaching or, you know, paid mentorship or anything like that, like find a meeting. There's so many meetings as well that are free online. There's AA meetings, CA meetings, and you could apply those same principles to food. You know, like I apply the same 12 steps to my food recovery as well. So there's amazing free resources online as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's therapeutic just to share with people.
Mhm.
So, you know, Aline knows I'm shy. I couldn't even leave a voice message when I first started, but, you know, I did watch all these different people and I was inspired by them and they helped me and I felt like I needed to pay it forward. And I say that to say, if you're feeling like you need support, but you can't afford coaching or you know, you're not sure where to go for support, that's why we have these free communities.
Yes.
You know, this is like heartfelt gifts from us to you, you know, that we do put effort into and we put our love and energy into. So come to the royal gatherings on Sunday
Yes.
in Kings and Queens of Raw, because that held me. I made a promise to myself on my long juice cleanse for a while. I did not miss a Sunday because
True.
that was my therapy time. That was my time where I filled my cup and got that energetic reciprocation from those around me who were, you know, feeling the call to up level as well in their different ways. It's how I met so many of my friends. I'm going to be doing juice parties. We're going to batch juice on Fridays in the weekend juicers group. So we batch juice on Fridays. So we have all our juice for the whole weekend. We're more set up for success, less likely to fall off once we've made all our juice for the weekend. We're not going to waste it, you know? So there are different free things out there that can be therapeutic, that can be uplifting, motivational, and to help you stay on track. Like Aline said, I highly recommend binging people's juice stories. Just Google it on YouTube and you're going to find more and more and more people, because a lot more people have come to this path now. And I'm watching them now. You know, I'm watching all kind of people that have done juice fast even recently, you know, so there's constantly new faces coming up as well, you know, and you will find somebody that you can relate to and feel their energy and feel inspired by. And it's the reason we share, you know, neither one of us are comfortable on camera or speaking, but we share because other people helped us and we want to, you know, pay that forward and help others. I always say, you know, like once we start taking care of ourselves and we fill our cup, that's when we're able to shine our brightest light out into the world. So I just encourage you to do whatever it is that helps you to shine your brightest light, so that not only are you feeling your love, but everyone else can feel it too. And I will kind of end on that note, but thank you so much for answering the call, Aline, and, you know, showing up. And I'm just so proud of us and what we're doing, you know, and there's always going to be naysayers to remember. Even now, people have said, you know, oh, you're only doing 100 days. So there's always going to be people who,
Yeah.
you know,
Others
are
say
not
100 is
with you.
dangerous, it's too much. Others say it's not enough. Like, just don't listen to anybody except for
Yeah.
yourself.
Just remember exactly that you have all the answers inside.
Yeah.
You need only ask. And once you clean your temple, that voice, that God inside becomes very, very,
Yeah.
very clear. So
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we answered this call, and that we're doing this. And I feel incredibly blessed to be here with you, Aline. I love you so much. You're shining like an
Me
angel
too.
today.
Oh.
And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm so happy. So,
Oh, me too. I'm so happy and grateful and blessed to have you in my life. And
oh,
we're
love you
both
so much.
we're both doing God's work, you know what I mean? And just getting over our
Absolutely.
own ego, getting over our own fears, for the service of all and those who are ready to heed the call. And we're here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
thank
proud
you
of
so
you,
much.
you
I'm
know, I'm
so
proud
proud
of
of
us.
you. I'm so proud of
Yeah,
you.
we're
You've
putting
been like,
ourselves out there. It's not easy to say, hey, I slipped back into these old patterns, and put yourself on display when you're struggling. It's so much easier to put yourself out there when you feel like you're doing well, when you feel
yeah,
like you're solid on the path. But this is what people need to see when we're, you know, I'm struggling, you know, with my joints hurting. I'm struggling with some weight gain, struggling with, you know, some fatigue and different things. And here we are, just like showing up, you know, because we love ourselves, you know, we love each other, and we just want to love the world. So
yeah.
I'm so happy to be on the juice. It is so liberating. It's so beautiful to not feel controlled by what you need to eat, or, you know, what you need to do. It's just so much easier to live in the present and enjoy life, because we don't know how many moments we have. That's something that I've been thinking a lot about lately. And it's important to live in the present, you know? So don't put off till tomorrow what you want to do today, those of you listening, because
Amen.
we don't know. We just don't know the time that we have. I saw something recently. I know I keep saying I'm going to end, and then things keep coming to me. I'll say this one last thing, but I saw recently, and I might mess it up, but somebody said something about, like, if I offered you $10 million, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, would you take it? Of course not. Then why aren't we treating today like it's worth $10 million? Because we don't know if we have another one. And I was like, wow, like that hit me deep and really has helped me to remain in the present lately. So yeah, each day is worth more than anything.
Oh, I agree. I agree. It's so precious. Our life is so precious, and we can put it off and put it off and put it off, but at some point, it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, and even the struggle is beautiful. That's what that means too. Like, even if you're struggling today is still worth $10 million if you couldn't wake up tomorrow. You know, so we can be thankful even for our struggles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, beautiful. I love you.
love you.
And we will do some more of these as we progress on our journey. So if you have any questions and would like us to make videos more specifically about certain things or topics on the juice cleanse or a refeed or anything like that, please let us know, and we would love to offer you some more videos like this. So I love you all so much. You can do it. We believe in you, and we believe in us, and we're doing this.
Shine bright, stars. You're limitless.
Exactly. Yeah. So powerful. All right, everyone. Have a great day. I'm going to the temple.
Yes. I'm going juice.
Right. Wish you were here, boo.
Oh, me too. Soon we'll be back together.
Yeah.
You all will be seeing us together on this juice cleanse at some point. We're manifesting it.
100%. All right. Love you all so much. Bye.